Hello. Let me know if you guys see me. Welcome, everyone. If you are popping in here, let's just double check. I am live. Yes, it looks like I am live. Let's just double check here. Yes, it says I'm live, and drop your name if you are popping in here. Just going to make sure I can see all your comments here. I see 2 eyeballs. And I see Sherry. Oh, Miranda. Miranda's in, yes. And 3 other people. So just drop a hello, say a hello that you're here with me. Charlotte dropped in as well. Good to see you. Awesome. Oh, and I'm going to make sure to tag everyone. Maybe. Yeah. Hopefully everyone can find me. Okay, I see Jennifer with lots of hearts. She's always on, always the biggest cheerleader for everyone. Valerie in the 21-day program. I'm sure she's learning a lot. Patricia joined in. Debbie joined in. Sherry said a hello. Anasia said a hello. Sherry said a hello. Awesome. All right, if you're joining me, this is live number 121, our second live Q&A session. Super excited about this. I know the last time we did it, it was a big success. A lot of you liked it and had asked, oh, can we have another round of it? So super excited for today. We got a lot of questions this time around. So it looks like I'm probably going to be spending most of the time answering those questions. And if I have a little bit of time, maybe at the very, very end. But of course, the priority goes to all those who have put it into the post. And hi, Katrina. Good to see you. Katrina's our VA, so she helps out a lot in the group. Thank you, Katrina. Awesome. Okay, so if you're new here or joining in from YouTube, this is the Fierce Woman community where we sculpt powerful bodies and champion mindsets. Today is our, like I said, a Q&A session. So I gather different questions from everyone and try to answer it. For some of you who are in the 21-day anti-inflammation system, if you ask some really specific questions in regards to that inflammation course, I might not answer it just because it has to do with the course, and you could post that in the private group, okay? So I'm going to try to answer a lot of the other bigger questions or general questions that the members in this community are asking, just to kind of give you guys a heads up on that, because you guys have a private group to post those questions into. I wanted to start off with a couple wins. This week is super exciting. I want lots of hearts. I want the cheer to come in. 2 of our programs launched this week. So our FFF Fierce Factor Formula group coaching program started on Monday. And we have 5 ladies in that. So Kathleen Swiston, Soli Pinkston, Yvonne Heller, Tracy Turin, and Kathy Michalico. They all started the FFF group coaching. I want to give a shout out to Kathy, though. Those of you who do know Kathy or have been with her in other programs, this is her 2nd round of FFF. So she is just so committed. And she also did Muscle Accelerator, and she's just so committed to her health. So super proud of you. And they did their first workout with Oshone yesterday. And I'm sure they love their leg workout. If there's any FFF in here, you can say, yeah, you can let me know what you think about those leg workouts that you guys did yesterday. So yes, I see lots of hearts coming in, which is awesome. I also see, I see Claire. Claire was in the FFF program, and Cindy was in the Transformation and Muscle Accelerator. Also want to give a shout out to all the 21-day anti-inflammation system ladies. I think tomorrow we're going to post about them, just because we wanted to separate the 2 posts for FFF and 21. So I want to give a shout out to Shenika, Sebastian, Claire Nelson, Kamiko Simpson, Sandy Kessinger, Sylvia Hildebrand, Wanda Mercury, Portia Hewley, Sarah Daniel, Danielle Garbett, and Cindy Cormay. All of them are in the 21-day program right now, and Wanda just popped in, which is great. And I know you guys are learning so much in the 21-day anti-inflammation system right now. well, actually 3 or 4 of your questions that you guys posted on the post for this Q&A was about the inflammation. And like I said, if it's something very specific, you might have to post that into the private group. But I love for all the ones who are in the 21-day anti-inflammation system, because I know you guys are learning a lot right now, to put what is like one shocking thing that you realized just going through my modules in just a couple of days. The one thing that if you are on here, my 21-day anti-inflammation system, ladies, was one thing that you did not realize and was like, what? Surprised about. I want you to put it below. Yeah, just I'm super interested because I got a lot of comments about like, I didn't know this. I can't have chicken noodle soup. I don't know who said that. I don't know who said I can't have the Lipton chicken noodle soup, which is really funny. Hi, Jennifer. Yvonne, good to see you. And Yvonne is in the FFF program. So huge shout out to you. Sherry jumped in. Rosalinda jumped in. Wanda says, yeah, the wheat and Lipton soup. She's very sad she can't have the Lipton soup. All right, so we're going to actually dive into some of the questions here. And thank you for all the hearts. I saw lots of hearts, and thank you for cheering for the other ladies. I really love when we post about the ladies. There's a lot of you in the community that we may not necessarily know you, but you jump in and cheer for the other ladies, and it means a lot, just like, women raising other women up, right? So that's awesome. So I'm going to start with Sandy's question. She said, for those of us who don't go to the gym and just work out at home, what are the must-haves regarding equipment? And so this is actually a great question. And it's actually a question that we dealt with throughout COVID or the pandemic, because everybody was trapped at home. And actually all my workout programs in the FFF program, which was one of the first programs I developed during COVID, that one can be done from home. And so it really, you don't need a lot of things. If I had to say like a bare minimum is, I see lots of things coming in about what you guys are shocked about. I'll read that in a second, but the bare minimum is having a good set of weights. Honestly, like if you have a good set of dumbbell weights that ranges from 5 pounds to, let's say, 20 or 25 pounds to 30 pounds, you're good. You can do so many hundreds of exercises with body weight and dumbbells that you could still sculpt your body really, really well. If you had to say like bare minimum, I would say that. Like I know over COVID, I bought, you guys know those adjustable weights, they're on the thing and you can go like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And it's great. You can use it for legs. You can use the lighter weights for upper body. And honestly, that's the basic that you need. You don't need to go like, I need everything in the gym. Another couple things to keep in mind would be just having a yoga mat for stretching, for doing floor exercises. I think stability ball, one of those big stability balls, are always really great for a lot of core exercises and low back exercises. And in my FFF program, like this is what they need, like basic set of dumbbells, yoga mat, stability ball, and like, those hip circle bands that you put around your leg for the hip adductors, abductor, that type of thing. Those ones are really, really good as well. So if you have those basic things, Rosalina says, do crab kicks. Yes. Well, you know what? You have people on your side right now because what's her, Jody, who started transformation program. She's like, those crab kicks, I can't do those crab kicks. So I was like, you are not alone. You are not alone. So that's basically all. If you say basic wise, okay, so like budget is tight. The only thing you can get a good set of dumbbells. If you got a little bit more, you can, and baseline, then I would say good set of dumbbells, yoga mat, stability ball, hip circle bands. Those are all basic things. Now, if you want to do a little bit more in the home, and I know a lot of you invest into like things for, your workout and your fitness, then I would say if you can invest in it, a good bench would be awesome. Having a good bench is really great for like things like chest presses and things like that. You don't have to though, but it is a nice thing to have as a good bench. Some of my higher level clients in MA, I like them to get a TRX suspension band where you suspend the band, and then you can do kind of TRX pulls or single arm rows with a TRX band. And then for, again, like people in MA like Lisa, Tana, who was in the MA, and Kathy Machalico, although now Kathy Machalico is going to the gym. A good pull-up bar is really good because that really works your upper body strength. You can install it into your door frame. So I have a pull-up bar as well. So I would say, like, if you want to take it to that next level, you can buy some of those things, but it's not a must. If you had a set of dumbbells, that would be great as well. Okay, so that's just to answer Sandy's question. I know lots of things came in here. Let me just see. Hold on here. Sandy said, Devin Shakta, how many items contain wheat? Great info, as I'm allergic to wheat. Yeah. And Sandy, like you only through going through that course, you sort of realized like you had to clear out half your pantry because there's so many things with those inflammatory markers that you didn't even realize, right? And Valerie said, only things I eat that's clearly approved is salmon and broccoli. Everything else is bad. Well, what that means, Valerie, is that means you've had a lot of processed foods. And so now is the time to really learn good whole foods. And that is a journey in itself, right? So it's a good eye opener. Those of you in the 21-day course. Hi, Love. Hi, Tammy and Mary all jumped in to watch. All right. We're going to go into this next question. Now, this is a big one, and I want to spend some time on it because I do think this is a really big topic. And so Isa Lomas, are you on here? Isa Lomas, if you aren't, I am answering your question. So her question is, why everything hurts when I go through menopause? So I'd like to know how many of you on here actually, feel a lot of pain going through menopause, or aches or joint pain. I'm kind of curious. If you do feel pain, put pain below. Okay. Put that below, because this is a common thing. Like, a lot of people tell me they have joint pain. They just don't feel good. Menopause sucks. Their body feels uncomfortable. If that's you, okay, I'm seeing thumbs up. I'm seeing people say pain. Monica says pain. Oshone, thank you for tagging Isa. If I am answering her question. So whoever I'm answering your question, if they're not on, you can tag them. So there's a lot of things in regards to this. Now, the first thing I'm going to start with is that if you have a lot of pain in your body during menopause, there is multiple things happening, but it is going to be largely related to chronic inflammation, which is why I talk about inflammation at such a high level, because the inflammation is the precursor to many, many diseases you will have. 21-day program, you guys know I listed all the possible diseases you can get as you age if you don't deal with chronic inflammation. Now, chronic inflammation and pain, I'm seeing lots of pain come in from Wanda, Sherry. Yeah, they say that they are experiencing pain. So let's talk a little bit about this, because with the chronic inflammation and the pain, there's a very complex interlinking between your immune system, your nervous system, and signaling molecules that get released, okay? Your immune system and your nervous system and signaling molecules that get released during an inflammation cycle. So I'm going to go through some things of why you're going to experience more pain when you have massive inflammation. So the first thing is that you actually have more sensitization of nerves, okay? So when you have inflammation, it will release inflammatory markers called cytokines or chemokines. And these actually create more sensitive nerve endings, meaning your nerves become more sensitive. Like, you know how when your teeth, there's a root exposed and then your teeth gets really sensitive. That's sort of what happens. If you have chronic inflammation, you're going to actually create an environment that actually sensitizes your nerves to pain. Okay. Number one. Number two, if you have inflammation, it conditions your body to actually grow new nerves and almost multiply faster at the nerve endings. And it's called neurogenesis. And this type of multiplication in your nerve endings increases the sensitivity to things around it. And that is caused by inflammation. Inflammation causes neurogenesis, causes you to grow more nerve endings that heightens sensitivity, okay? The third thing is that your chronic inflammation, if we're talking about pain, because a lot of people I've talked to have a lot of pain, it creates centralization of your sensitivity. So what that means is that it will force your central nervous system to come into like high alert. And when it's high alert, it affects your brain, affects your spinal cord. And because it's going into your central nervous system, everything you do and things you feel, normally somebody may feel it at a 3, you may feel it at an 8. Okay. And so this is extremely important. And is why I say you have to deal with inflammation. It has so many things that is going to massively impact you. And I'm only talking specific to pain right now, to her question, right? As well, when you have chronic inflammation, you're gonna actually produce pain-inducing molecules. So the inflammatory cells, they will release something called prostaglandins and bradykinin, which can directly stimulate nerve endings to increase pain sensation. So you have more molecules being released that forces more pain reception. And so this is crazy. The amount of things that go through. That's why like Sandy, the ones who are in the 21-day program, when you guys cleaned your pantry, you started to realize, oh my goodness, how much have I been eating this for the last 30 years or 40 years of my life? Imagine what that's doing in your body. Imagine the amount of pain, the centralization of nerve, like pain's reception, growing more neurons at the end of it. It's pretty crazy. Now, another thing is I see 21-day, Monica. So we will connect with you. You will have to go on the waiting list because we just started, but if you want to go on the waiting list, we can definitely put you down for it, like with the 21-day. As well, you also have something called nosoreceptors. So nosoreceptors are specialized nerve endings that detect harmful stimuli and transmit pain signals to the brain. So these are specific kind of receptors that really like generate more pain signals. So again, it's the same thing. It's generating more signals from these things that like normally is under high alert. These high alert signals are meant for you to survive in this, if some survival in the wild. But if you are chronically inflamed, not acute inflamed is like you cut your finger, you broke an arm or something, and your body has to heal it. Totally get it. But if your body is chronically inflamed for the past 30 years of your life, it certainly is going to catch up to you, and that is why so many people in menopause have massive pain. If you have massive amounts of pain, I would say that it's not that because you just suddenly hit into menopause, but because you never dealt with inflammation. The inflammation just sat around, but it got worse with all of these things and growing new neurons at the end, making your neurons more sensitive, producing more cytokines and these types of things that forces your whole system to go into high alert. And that's kind of why that so many people in menopause experience so much discomfort and pain. And so Valerie said, I've been told to eat breakfast before working out. Okay, so that's another question. So just maybe Oshona, if you're on, just note her question now. I just want to finish my line of thought here. As well, if you have chronic inflammation, you are more likely to produce autoimmune responses in your body. Now, it is very complex. And again, I'm not a doctor, but autoimmune diseases are very common. It can hit anyone. It's hit my dad. It's hit my sister. And it is coming if you don't deal with it. Autoimmune responses is when your system attacks your own body, attacks its own cells and tissues. And there is a complexity to this. However, that comes from a lot of malfunctioning of signals in your body, which can come from improper nutrition and constant inflammation in your system. Okay. And so the autoimmune response and the ongoing tissue damage that's occurring through chronic inflammation is going to produce higher levels of pain as you continue to age. And so, if you are experiencing lots of pain, this is something for you to take into account of like why. There's like 6 or 7 or 8, 9 reasons of like why there's a lot of pain through your system, and you have to deal with inflammation. Okay. So I guess, Wanda says yes, yes, yes. And I see Kelly jumped in, Barbara jumped in. So how many of you, now I talk about it like, oh, wow, like, yeah, I understand now why I have so much pain in my body, put pain below. If you're like, yes, this is like all the stuff she's describing, like I'm more sensitive. It seems my body doesn't recover. It seems like my body is like acting against me sometimes. Like I actually had someone message me from the dance world. He's a guy, but he mentioned, I need to learn your inflammation system. And I said, why? He goes, I keep getting injured and I don't know why out of nowhere I start getting injured. And I said, okay, let's talk about this. So inflammation affects everything to pain to recovery, right? So like I said earlier, if you want to learn more about inflammation, then put inflammation below or put 21-day program. You're unfortunately not able to get in right now, but we can put you on the waiting list. So you can put inflammation or 21 to want to go into that next program. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about menopause, because I'm addressing Isa's question about why do I have a lot more pain or everything hurts in menopause. So I said the root of everything is inflammation, right? But I want to talk a little bit about menopause. So there's something that happens during menopause that then forces these signals even at a exponential rate, okay? So last live, I talked about hormones, okay? So we're going to actually revisit this. I see lots of 21-day coming in. Monica, Yvonne, Kelly, and Yvonne, you're in the FFF, so we are going to teach you this because that's part of that program that we're going to help you with. So hormones, okay? So during menopause, your estrogen and your progesterone will drop. Estrogen plays a really crucial role in regulating inflammation and pain perception. Because of your estrogen drop, you are going to suddenly have less protection against inflammation. And so previously you were eating tons of stuff that was not that great for your body, inflaming your body. You could get away with it, maybe because you had more protection from estrogen. As you age, estrogen is no longer going to be there. And this is going to create more inflammation than you realize, and your pain reception goes up because estrogen regulates pain perception, and so your pain perception goes up as well. With the hormonal changes, it will also affect your joint pain, right? Again, your joints become stiffer, and there's just like, again, it's not controlling inflammation, so the joints start to hurt more as well. The muscle aches start to become more because of those hormone changes in your body. Your hormone changes decrease the circulation, the metabolism of your body, and so you're not able to get stuff out of your body as fast, right? Recovery is not as good. Things stay around longer. Inflammation can't be pushed out as fast. So you have more muscle aches, more stiffness. Your bone density changes, which I spoke about last time as well. With estrogen dropping, okay, this means you have less, estrogen kind of protects a bit of that bone density. So you have a higher risk of osteoporosis, and weakened bones lead to pain and fractures, or your bones start to hurt more, right? And so you want to also be aware that it's inflammation in your system that you're not controlling, but these changing hormones now make it like you tore a, sort of like if you lose the surface layer of your skin, oh my gosh, it hurts, right? Like if you ever, like, I don't know, cut your nails too close to the edge or something like that, it's that exposed skin that makes it worse. And that's what I'm saying is like, it's like inflammation is at the root of a lot of it, but the hormonal changes just seems like it just pulled off the skin on top. And it's like, oh my gosh, it hurts that much more. I can't recover as much, And I see lots of thumbs up coming in. As well with your hormone changes, it creates sleep disturbances, right? You're not able to often sleep as well. And if you don't sleep well, I don't know if you guys know the connection to pain reception. If you don't sleep well, the connection to pain reception is your pain receptors become more sensitive to everything. How many of you have lacked sleep before? Because obviously Clarice definitely have. And you feel pain a lot faster the next day, or your body is just achy the next day. That is the effect of not having good sleep. So people in menopause, if they are lacking good quality sleep, then their pain starts to go up on top of everything else I talked about, right? And menopause causes mood changes. And so you have more fluctuation, mood, stress, cortisol forces greater pain reception as well, and muscle tension in your body, right? There's just so much I can speak. And that's why her question, I was like, let's talk about this question, because I know that this is something that you guys would love learning about. And as well, like, because a lot of people don't know why suddenly they're gaining weight in menopause, and all of these things due to the inflammation, due to the way they eat, due to food, the weight gaining 15 to 20 pounds is like, try it, go get a weighted vest, which I have, and I love my weighted vest, but try walking around with 20 pounds of weighted vest on you. You'll see the difference it feels in your body all the time. With more weight gain, you are going to experience potential more pain in your joints and your muscles because you're gaining weight, right? Hot flashes, night sweats, all of this stuff that comes with menopause, again, changes in hormones, but also because of inflammation, affects, again, sort of your perception of pain or discomfort in your body, lots of changes in your body happening. And a lot of times when people are in menopause, they have, because their body's not feeling great, they don't recover that fast, they actually decrease physical activity. And I know that I'm talking to some of you that, like, it's almost easier to sometimes, like, maybe not do as much exercise. And if you decrease too much physical activity, that worsens your situation and it makes you more stiff, and already circulation is not that great at your age, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say, and this was like a big topic, is going back to Isa's question, is the number one reason you have a lot of pain in your body is because of chronic inflammation. And all those reasons I described above is the reason for it, but it gets exacerbated by all of these things that happen during menopause that just makes it triple, quadruple, or 10 times worse for you. Okay. And so but it doesn't have to be that way. I see, wow, yes, and people saying lacking sleep and lots of inflammation comments and 21-day program. Yeah, I know Oshone has experienced that. And I don't know if you guys know Oshone, even though she's younger, during COVID, and she did a post on this before, she actually wasn't really watching her eating as much. She got kind of inflamed and she didn't feel good. She felt kind of bloated and body's achy. And so you don't have to be in menopause to realize you're in inflammation. I have 20-year-olds contacting me and saying, I feel gross all the time. Why? You have inflammation in your system. However, the plus for somebody that's 20, 30 is their body can get rid of it much faster. They can get rid of it much faster. For someone in 50s, 60s, it cannot get rid of it as fast. So you have to be diligent about it. And the lasting effects of chronic inflammation in your system sometimes can cause sometimes, okay, I'm just saying on an extreme case can cause permanent damage. This is why I speak about this, and I urge you to make sure you learn about inflammation, because I've seen inflammation create autoimmune diseases in my dad, in my sister, and you have to address it. There will be a point where there's a tipping point. You're good, you can do it, you can reverse it, you can get better, you can have lifestyle changes. But if you tip it too far, and you permanently destroy certain signaling in your body, this is where we have metabolic damage, diabetes, major autoimmune diseases that come about. And now it's very hard to reverse that. So we don't want to get there. We don't want to get there. Please address your inflammation. Please learn about your nutrition, and it's not about a pill or anything. It is about learning your nutrition. And those of you in the 21-day program, as you guys are learning right now, there is inflammation in almost everything, unless you are super on top of understanding your ingredients, right? And so, yeah, Debbie says so many changes. Wow, now that I'm 65. Yeah, and Debbie has been in the program for a couple years now, and just where she started till now at 65, I'm sure she feels so much better now at 65 than she has ever. And so proud of you, Debbie. I see Daphne jumped in, Cindy, Kimberly, and you guys all popped on in. So again, I'm going to say, if you are listening to this and you don't understand inflammation, put inflammation below so that we can get you some help for that. Put inflammation or 21, which you will be on the waiting list for that. So 21 or inflammation. All right. So I'm going to go on to the next question. This one is answering Claire Nelson's question. And this is a good question. I get this often. She's specifically asking, how much should you actually reduce your sodium by for it to not be a problem? And how bad is sodium? So the thing is, of course, we actually all need some sodium, but I'm not a big fan of sodium, partially because our society is loaded with sodium. You go out to a restaurant, you go out here, everything, like Claire said, it says season with salt, season with salt, season with salt, like it's everywhere. And yes, Monica, we see your inflammation comment, so we will reach out to you. And hi, Dawn, good to see you. So you do need some sodium, though, obviously for electrolytes and for the functioning of your body. So the general recommendation, there's a little bit of a range, but like the World Health Organization says 2,000 milligrams of sodium per day. And then the US dietary guidelines says 2,300. So I've always said 2,300 to my clients, but personally, I always say you should probably go lower. That's just the upper limit, right? The upper limit, 2,300 milligrams of sodium. I like to generally stick lower. I like to go like 1,500 or below. And the reason is that so many things have sodium in it that you don't even know. And so you don't really need to always add more sodium, because the average is most people have too high of sodium. And so I prefer to stick to a lower range. And if you have health conditions like high blood pressure, and you have certain, just certain chronic conditions, I would just recommend lower sodium is the key. Okay. Because high sodium is going to cause hypertension and other cardiovascular diseases. What I am also going to say is it depends on many things. Okay. So I would say there's a range of what you need. Jennifer Leah on here, I think she sweats a lot. She tells me she sweats a lot. She's like, I sweat all the time when I work out. And so she probably needs a little bit more, right? So everybody's body is different. If you're someone who sweats a lot and that's just how your body works, then you may need more sodium. If your body doesn't naturally do that, you may not need as much sodium. So therefore, I think it is an individual basis. There's certain baselines, and it depends on the type of workouts you do too. Like if you're doing a lot of cardio, you're doing high amounts of CrossFit type stuff, like Claire, who asked this question, is a CrossFitter. I know that. And so maybe I would have to see what she's doing on a regular basis. She may need a little bit more sodium, because you need more pressure, you got to replace electrolyte, but more pressure in the blood vessels sometimes too. For example, I was talking to my Olympic coach, and there's a lot of speed in how I have to lift my weights. And, I'm just not I don't really like too much sodium, but we talked a little bit about like how much more sodium do I need to produce a faster response, right? So there's actually a lot of science behind it again, but for most people kind of on a regular basis, you're not pulling 150 pounds over your head. You probably can stay on a lower limit of sodium. If you're a high level athlete, you're watching this, 25 eyeballs, you're a CrossFitter, you're competing in marathons, then please talk to me individually, because I don't want you to go too low and then suddenly like you're running in a marathon and you faint or something like that, but it's just like, I prefer lower, but your body may need more, okay, depending on what you do. Yeah, Jennifer sweats, exactly. And Portia says, would you recommend drinking coconut water for electrolytes? Yeah, I don't mind some electrolyte drinks, maybe some coconut water, depending on, and Portia, this comes back to, because you're in my 21-day anti-inflammation system, what is in the drink? Okay. A lot of times when I look at these drinks in the back, there is stuff in there that I am not a fan of. And yes, it gives you electrolytes, but it brings along a whole host of other things that I am not a fan of. So it just depends on what's in it. Okay. So good question. So let's jump to yes, hold on here. Let me just make sure. Okay, let's jump to Jennifer. You're just right here, Jennifer. What works for loose skin and what doesn't? So how many of you are experiencing loose skin on here? Yeah, if you have loose skin, put loose skin below. Like put it below. All right. So what causes loose skin? So obviously aging causes loose skin. If you have rapid weight loss, pregnancy, genetics, all can affect the appearance of your skin. Cellulite is both the presence of sometimes a lot of fat, and sometimes it's not necessarily just that, but the way your cells are aligned. Like if they tend to overlap, then they can more likely have maybe more of a cellulite kind of appearance. So there's a lot of different factors involved with that. Lisa says loose skin, Jennifer says loose skin, Monica says loose skin. For little bits of loose skin, you definitely have strategies that can help improve it. For large amounts of loose skin, let's say someone had been very overweight and lost all of that. For large amounts, you might need to surgically remove that, because like there's only so much you can do to like tighten it, but depends on the severity of that loose skin. Okay. So yeah, Dawn says you have loose skin as well, and Monica as well. So these are things that will help your loose skin if it's not like too much, kind of generally. So the first thing is gradual weight loss. So if you're trying to lose weight, that's why crazy diets aren't good for you. Learn your nutrition and do it gradually, do it in a systematic way. Because a lot of times people have loose skin if they are losing too fast, and it's just faster than the skin can respond, and then it just like completely pulls the skin, like it basically the skin is loose, right? Sorry, I think it just got blurry. I'm just going to make sure I'm coming back on. There we go. Okay, perfect. And so you want to make sure that you have a gradual weight loss so that your skin's elasticity can catch up to it. Okay. You want to make sure you're always well hydrated for your skin to stay healthy and supple and kind of have that, bouncy element to it. Hydration is really important. Nutrition is really important. So making sure that you have a balanced eating regime with a full gamut of vitamins and minerals that can support healthy skin. And so nutrition is really crucial. So I know I go back to this, but if your body has a lot of inflammation in it, it will affect the look of your skin. I'm sure you can tell sometimes by looking at someone's skin. Are they healthy? Are they not? In the past, I've done some posts on some of my clients, the changes of their skin tone. Rosalinda, you're on here too. From her first picture to her last picture, her skin was puffy and red. to like just smooth and like glowing by the end. So nutrition is really crucial. As well as strength training. Dawn says, I believe everything that is breaking down my body is due to age and menopause. And Dawn, I'm going to add to that everything breaking down your body, yes, aging has to do with it. Menopause exacerbates the current situation, but the underlying cause for most people's problem is nutrition. So I'm going to go right back to nutrition. Okay. So, the next thing in terms of like skin, like I'm working with like tightening the skin, is strength training. So that's why strength training is so important, because when you strength train, you actually build muscle to fill out the skin, okay? So that it looks better and it looks more filled in, right? Versus like, think of a balloon, right? When a balloon is blown up, it looks like full, but if it kind of deflates, it looks crepey. You know what I mean? It's like crepey. So a lot of times why when people age, their skin looks crepey is actually not just because they're getting older. That is a little bit part of it. However, it's like your muscle underneath kind of deflated. Yeah. The muscles atrophied. So it's like a balloon going, right? And then it kind of becomes all wrinkly and crepey. So strength training is really important, building the muscles to fill out the appearance of the skin. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4 is, yes, there's a lot of talk about collagen supplements and all of that. And collagen is a protein that supports skin elasticity. And some studies have shown that it really does help. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Collagen is a natural compound. And so for a lot of people, I know this is a big thing. Taking some collagen is awesome for increasing your skin elasticity. Again, I would say like it starts with your nutrition and all the things, and strength training internally. I always believe work internally. But sometimes, like having proper like lotions, like I said, and certain creams and lotion that has kind of skin tightening effects like retinoids, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C, those can help the surface of the skin. But I'm going to say something that a lot of people neglect is that they take these creams or lotions on top of their skin, but they don't address the bottom up. They don't address the nutrition up. They don't address the inflammation up. They don't address the strength training and muscle building up. So the surface is going to be superficial correction and only lasts so long. But if you do both under and on top, then you're going to help it more completely. Hopefully that makes sense. Lisa says, yep, C-section and lost a lot of weight. Yeah. And Lisa, because I know Lisa was 301 pounds before, and now she's like 164. We have to correct me on that. But yeah, like she's lost a lot of weight. That's why she does have some loose skin, but she's worked really hard to try to build more muscle in her body. And I know she's working hard to get back on track on all of that. And Dawn says, yes, left strength training. Good. Rosalinda, yes, inflamed. Yeah, from your picture, it was shocking how different your body looked, right? And then I spoke about this at the last Q&A session, which is massaging and dry brushing. Again, it's a surface level kind of remedy. I do believe in massages for many reasons, for like moving things, getting knots out of your body, circulation, the lymphatic system, all of that. So overall, I think massages are great for moving things out of your body and getting knots out. But like massage and dry brushing can help the surface layer of your skin, because you're forcing circulation, you're forcing things to move. And when you're older, a lot of times like your circulation is no longer as good. And so it is going to help as long as you keep the things I said in mind. It has to be a total change. It's not just surface level things, but not changing things internally, right? Hi, Dina. Hi, Suzanne. All right. So what doesn't work in terms of like tightening your skin? First of all, extreme diets. Extreme diets are going to make it worse. So if you're trying to lose weight really fast right now, you might want to consider that. Yeah. If you want to lose weight really fast, then you're going to potentially exacerbate how fast your weight drops, and then the skin becomes loose. Okay. So no extreme dieting. Just learn healthy eating. No suddenly dropping down to 900 calories. A lot of women, I talked to you about this, no suddenly dropping down to 1,000 calories. Eat your food. stay on a good, healthy nutrition regime, but learn what you need to do, then your skin can kind of catch up to it, like as you gradually lose weight, right? And I see lots of thumbs up coming in. Hi, Alicia, good to see you. Ingrid. And some things that don't work, like I did mention, like having like lotions and things that may have like vitamin C and hyaluronic acid can help. But sometimes there's a lot of other things that are out there, like take this pill, or there's like these like skin tightening creams that may say certain things. Again, they may not work, and you just have to be cautious of it. There's just tons of things out there that says do this or do what is it called? Like you go to a spa and they wrap you and they saran wrap you. Anyways, maybe, but it could be just like it could have just dehydrated you, you know, so you look smaller, right? So like some of these things you might want to just like really understand the science behind it before saying like that is what's going to tighten my skin kind of thing. And as well as spot reduction exercises. I see like Monica going, yay. I think she's agreeing with me. Spot reduction exercises. So I don't, first of all, you cannot spot reduce. We all know this. You cannot go, I want to reduce the fat on the back of my arms, right? A lot of people talk about the bat wings, right? You can't spot reduce because that's not how fat is released. Fat is released throughout your body. It's not just like in one area that it can release. So therefore you can't actually spot reduce. So if you're like, hey, I need to work this part of my body, let's go to YouTube, let's find this exercise. That's not going to work. What you want to focus on is overall strength training, overall working all areas of your body to increase the total metabolic rate of your body, the total calorie burn, and increasing total muscle gain. And by doing that, that is going to tighten your body, like your whole body will tighten together. That is the best approach, is to learn how to overall strength train. Right. And Rosalinda says weight training, collagen, stress management has helped along with nutrition and a girdle. Yes, Rosalinda. Now the girdle is good for posture and for posture core sometimes, but ultimately it has to be nutrition, right? You can't just wear a girdle. Okay, so I want to be careful because people buy all these types of things. And when I was in my 20s, I like believed that too. I was like, okay, buy this little belt that vibrates in your midsection and you're going to like get some like awesome abs. I get it. We've all been there. Okay. But it's like, but that doesn't actually change the fat in your belly. You got to address nutrition. But you could use a girdle for like a better posture and a better core, but that's not what's going to reduce fat. Okay, so we just want to be clear about that because Rosalinda just put a girdle there. Yeah, so so those are the things that I know she's always joking around. You're joking around, Rosalinda. But yeah, those are the things that I would say wouldn't really work if you're like spot reducing, extreme dieting, maybe just trusting any procedure or cream that comes out that says they're tightening your skin. I think for a lot of people, I'll just kind of end with this for this topic, okay? I think for a lot of people, they are looking for quick fixes. Can I wear a belt to reduce the belly fat? Can I take a pill? Can I like just put this cream on and it reduces fat or tightens my skin? And unfortunately, the good news and bad news, I feel like it's good news too. The good news and bad news is that there is no quick fixes. You want to permanently change the way your body looks and to have less body fat, less inflammation, and more muscle, you must take time to learn your nutrition, eat well consistently, and then build muscle over months and months to produce the best body. There is no shortcut. You have to be willing to put in the time to build the best body. Okay. And I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's kind of the reality. So Jennifer, hopefully that answers your questions. You do a lot of this. Jennifer's in my modified muscle accelerator, and she does do strength training. She is working on all her macros, and she is, working on that gradual weight loss. So you are doing tons of this, Jennifer. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, and yeah, I'll kind of come back to this. So if any of you are want to learn more about reducing cellulite and sort of that loose skin, you can put it below. I know that there was a post I did on Beate, and she had a lot of cellulite on her legs, and how it changed by the end. We can tag you on that. And I did do one live on cellulite, and we can also send you that. So yes, if you want to learn more, you can put cellulite below on that. Okay. Yeah, Portia says, yes, I've been so tempted to get a waist trainer. But Portia, you know what? You're not alone. That's why I said it. I get it. I was there, and I mean, there's some benefits of it could help your posture, but to understand for the reason you get it, right? If you get it, it's not to lose fat. If you get it, it's for posture, right? So it's understanding the reason you get it is really important, right? So yeah, awesome. So I see lots of cellulite coming in, and we will send it to you, or Debbie will probably send that to you. The angels are on here right now. I know Debbie and Oshone, they're on here right now. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next topic. So this is Clarice's favorite topic, so Jeannie Penka, she asked me this, and this is something I've done many lives on, but I'm going to repeat it since it seems like every week to every 2 weeks when we have new members coming in, they ask the same question. Okay. So she says, Clarice, I am needing to work on my midsection, seeing how I'm having a hard time losing this, working odd hours as an EMT firefighter, and still seems like it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. So how many of people on here relate? You have a belly, you trying to work on it, but you have a stressful job, you're a nurse, you're an EMT fighter, you're a paramedic, and the belly just does not seem to shift. So how many of you struggle with a belly and you're just the belly does not shift? So put belly below. Okay. So put belly below, because again, this is not a new topic, but this is Clarice's one of favorite topic, is what I specialize really well in. So we're going to talk about this. Okay. I'm going to go through Nicole's notes on how to lose belly fat. Okay. This is not really a secret, but it requires the right knowledge and right application. Okay, so I see OMG from Tammy. That's me. Monica says belly. Wanda says belly. Monica says the tire, the spare tire. Yvonne says belly. Suzanne says that's my story. So Jeannie, you're not alone. That's the first thing is all these ladies says, yes, that's me too. Okay, so it's not a secret, like I said, but it requires the right knowledge and right application. So I'm gonna mention the steps you need to reduce belly fat, but just because I mentioned the steps doesn't mean that you know how to apply it. And my role as a coach is to help you know how to apply it, right? Because knowledge is everywhere. And any one of you that are watching right now, 24, 25 eyeballs, you can learn it, you can listen to me, but until you actually apply it, it is not the same thing. And just make sure you're not info beast. You're not just taking all this information and then not applying it. You got to learn to apply this. And that's where the change will come. Not by me saying step 1, 2, 3, 4 is how you reduce belly fat. All of you be like, yahoo, she just gave us the 4-step on how to reduce belly fat, but you need to know how to apply. All right, so let's start again. Number 1, like a broken record, Clarice will say, one of the first steps to reducing belly fat is controlling inflammation in the system. Surprise, surprise. So you need to, so Jeannie, if this is you, and you have belly fat by nature says you have inflammation. You might as well just write inflammation across your belly. Okay, all of you have belly. I am joking, but I'm just saying it in a fun way. literally, you should write inflammation across your belly if you have a big belly. It literally, that is what it's telling you. Okay. So it is literally a sign you have inflammation, Jeannie, if you have a belly. So you need to control inflammation. You need to learn every ingredient that you are intaking in your body that is causing inflammation in your system. You need to be very diligent about your food to understand how to control inflammation from the things you drink, to the things you eat, to the sauces you use, everything. You need to be extremely an inflammation detective. Okay. All of my own clients who are with me, I'm an inflammation detective. Yes, I detect inflammation. I ask you, what's this? What's this? And most of the time, people are usually jaw dropped at what I say is causing inflammation in their system. So you need to learn what is going in your body that is causing inflammation. That's step one. Okay. I see lots of belly, but then I see Sherry say, hey, not a bad idea. Instead of post it on the fridge. Yeah, Sherry, take a picture of yourself, and then it's. I'm so joking though. I hope nobody's taking me seriously serious. But like, if you're like, I need a good reminder, so like, take a picture of yourself and write inflammation across your belly. If it helps you stay motivated to avoid inflammation, that's a good control technique, right? So that's number one. So number two, yeah. And Jennifer said those red circles. So I'm an inflammation detective. If you work with me in my programs, I circle things and I send it to you and say, I need to see this. Or if you're in FFF with Oshone, she'll likely do that too. So the second thing to reducing belly fat is you need to control cortisol. Again, this is not new. I've spoken a lot about this. For Jeannie, you might be new. I think you're pretty new in the community. You need to control cortisol. Now, as an EMT firefighter, I understand you have a higher level of stress. So that's unfortunately just a part of your profession. But that just means that you have to learn to control cortisol through other ways, which again, food is number one above that I said is a way of controlling stress response in your system. Getting enough sleep on the days that you are off. And for the nurses, I know Cindy Hutchinson, you're a nurse. Lynn is a nurse. We have a lot of nurses on here. I know you don't have a regular sleep schedule, but just make sure you do get enough like rest and sleep on the days that you can. Monitoring your mindset is very, very important because a lot of your systematic cortisol is caused by the way you think. And so really monitoring like your mindset and just your daily lifestyle, like even hydration, right? Like, again, like this is always with me because if you're dehydrated, your body's stressed, right? If you skip a meal, your body's stressed. If you eat the wrong stuff, your body is stressed. If you're angry in traffic, you're stressed, right? So it's like lifestyle factors also is really important. So again, answering Jeannie's question is like, just number one, you have to control inflammation. Number two, you have to learn to control cortisol in your system. Okay. Number three is learn your nutrition. And this is different from number one, inflammation, because I believe Portia said it above here. Portia said, that's my next thing to work on is macros. Okay, so this is what I'm referring to. I'm not just referring to inflammation. Number three, nutrition, is you have to learn the right amount of calories and right amount of macros, because that's the only way, by learning how to have the right protein, carbs, and fat, to dial the long-term process it takes to reduce fat. Okay, I'm gonna say this really key phrase I want you all to remember, 23 on here. Okay. When you work on inflammation, my 21-day anti-inflammation system, ladies, you are going to bring down inflammation massively in your system, and you're going to drop a lot of bloating and inflammation and aches and pain. Is awesome. That is much faster to do, can be accomplished at a faster rate. To reduce fat, however, takes months to work on. It requires a very systematic approach to truly reduce fat, and visceral fat is particularly very difficult. And in order to reduce visceral fat, you have to know your macros and dial it very systematically to create the best results. And this is what's hard, because for a lot of people, they will want fast results, or they'll do inflammation, and which is awesome. The inflammation is awesome, but you need to have macros as the next thing to back it up, which for all my, like Yvonne's on here, my FFF ladies, that's why in the FFF program, we go into macros in the weeks that you are, because you guys are a few months in my program, we go from inflammation to calories and macros, because that is how you're going to dial a long-term approach to reducing actual fat in your body. Okay. So if any of you guys, I don't know if you guys have skimmed the group, there is an anonymous poster, and I know who it is. She's been in my program a long time, but she's such a perfect example, and I will be posting about her, but like more in a anonymous way, around what it takes to truly reduce visceral fat. She has right now completely lost all her visceral fat, and her numbers are crazy. She's done a straight exchange over, and her numbers between the amount of fat inches lost in her body is replaced with the same inch gains on muscle. And I have rarely seen someone who has this amount of straight exchange, which is called body recomposition. But this individual is extremely, extremely precise, and has one of her strengths is consistency. She has followed everything I've asked her to do in macros and stays super, super consistent. And her posts about her, like she's over 60, she might even be over 65. I could be wrong, but I think she's over 65. And like, she has lost all visceral fat in her belly, which is even the very hard, stubborn fat below. And so if you want to see that post that she wrote, put visceral fat below, put visceral fat. If you want to see that post that she wrote about what it kind of her experience of what it took for her to get there. And why I bring this up is because she is the example of what it takes to reduce belly fat, but in the right way. And that she followed the process of what I'm saying here very closely around 1, reducing inflammation, 2, controlling cortisol, 3, learning her nutrition, her calories and her macros. And we dialed her macros so many times to produce this. She is amazing. Yes. And Monica says, congratulations. I remember reading that earlier today. Yes. And Portia, that's perfect. And so I see, if you want to read her post, put visceral fat in there, because she has never gotten results like this before. But this is the reason she said what she said, is because it's not a one approach, like do this diet and you're going to lose belly fat. No, the reason why she lost belly fat is because of all those things. And we dialed, like her macros had to be dialed and 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 dialed. I think it's like she's been dialed like 13 times or something like that, something crazy like that. So if you want to read her post, put visceral fat below, and I can tag you on that. And then the fourth thing, okay, I see lots of visceral fat, so we will tag you on that. The fourth thing is not directly related to reducing belly fat, but it contributes to helping it. So this is actually exercise and strength training, which you guys all know that. Now, would I say if you exercise and strength training, you'll reduce belly fat? No. The first 3 are those, like inflammation, cortisol, and nutrition. But strength training helps you utilize carbs better. So you have a higher ability to utilize carbs. You have increased sensitivity to insulin, which allows you to utilize insulin better instead of insulin resistance, which leads to prediabetes potentially. Exercise allows you to understand how to use your nutrition better, increases better circulation, it decreases your stress hormone like cortisol, and it allows you to have better hormones. It increases your growth hormones, your insulin growth factor hormones. It helps your sleep. So because of a lot of the effects of exercise and strength training and building muscle, that inadvertently then helps you with reducing belly fat. But I would say that's kind of the order I would say it in, is reduce inflammation, number 1, control your cortisol, learn your nutrition, calories and macros, and then put in your exercise and strength training. And that in a nutshell is what I would say would help you reduce belly fat theoretically. But now you have to learn how to put those four things together in a proper system. And that's really a lot of what I do is that's the way I coach, is reducing belly fat through our Fierce Woman DNA methodology, right? So the DNA methodology I use is really based on sort of like this kind of approach, so that you can learn how to like manage all of that, right? So if you want to learn more about reducing belly fat or our DNA methodology, put belly below. And yeah, we can see what we can get for you, obviously, in terms of helping you with belly fat reduction. But also, I think there was a live on my DNA methodology a while back. So I have so many lives. But yeah, either put belly or DNA methodology below and we can reach out to you. Okay. I see lots of visceral fat. So we will tag you on that wonderful post. And hi, Karen. Thank you for jumping in. Awesome. So yes, if you want to work on, you need help with belly, put belly below, or the DNA methodology below. Okay. So I see that Karen, you put the belly, and Valerie. Awesome. So we will reach out to you. All right. So we're going to move on to the next question here. So Sherry, you asked, I'm following a Facebook discussion that is about predators not catching prey. And it was proved that they had switched to berries, mostly blueberries, but also raspberries, and then they lost a lot of weight. And so you say your question is, does seasons affect people's nutrition, or just keep hunting at Superstore? So Sherry, I think I understand your question. I had to read it a few times to make sure what you're asking. But first of all, berries are pretty healthy. Of all the fruits, I would say I like berries, and it's the lowest glycemic fruit. So first of all, it is a pretty good, healthy fruit. Okay. But if your question is around seasons and can that affect weight gain or weight loss, the answer is yes, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. So I'm going to answer it first from the general average population that would say, well, yeah, generally, different seasons can affect whether you gain weight or lose weight. But then I'm going to come on the other perspective of like, but it doesn't have to be that way. Okay. So because of changing seasons, right? A lot of times maybe people, for budget reasons, because sometimes some things like in season is cheaper. If it's not in seasons, it's more expensive. So they eat certain things that may be healthier maybe during summer, but not as healthy during wintertime kind of thing. Sometimes it's availability of what's available. Sometimes some things that you really want to get is not there. The nutrient content of your foods in the grocery store does change with seasons. Like when it's colder, some of the food, they don't get as much sunlight. And so there's less vitamin D in the produce itself. Some things have less vitamin C just due to where it's coming from. So like, obviously, if it's more local, it's going to have a higher nutritional quality to it versus something that has been shipped for a long time. So yeah, it can affect a little bit of that. People's eating patterns during different seasons, right? So, when it's colder, people tend to go for more comfort foods, more heavy starches, things that may have more carbs in it. So people may gain weight during the winter time. And then they're like, oh, I'm so hot. I can only eat a salad in the summertime. So they could lose weight during that time. Holidays affect it, right? During Christmas time, people gain weight over Christmas because of holidays, traditions, versus, maybe other seasons. Okay. So what I'm saying is, of course, different seasons could affect whether you gain weight or lose weight. But here is my take on it. Okay. My take on it is that's if you react to food. If you react to food, you'll always be reacting to your state of your physical being. But my approach has always been you're proactive with your food. You are proactive in planning what you need in your nutrition so that you will never be at the whim of seasons or occasions and all of that. Okay. So what do I mean by that? So this is actually going into a lot of my baseline philosophy of actually learning your nutrition. You can't be proactive about your food if you don't know your nutrition. You can only be reactive. You're just always reacting to the environment. When you learn your nutrition and you understand what inflames your body, you understand macros. And so this is where I want to talk a little bit. If you understand what are good proteins for your body, what are good carbs for your body, what are good starch carbs, what are good fibrous carbs, what are good simple sugars for your body, what are healthy fats, what are the different types of fats that you need for your body, then you understand the what are good for your body. And regardless of season, whatever season it is, you are going to be able to stay consistently on track with good macros because you understand how to put protein, carbs, and fat together. You understand how to eat macro based, which is what we teach in FFF group coaching. And obviously my transformation program, which is what Jody Peebles is part of right now, is teaching macro-based eating. When you understand macro-based eating, it doesn't matter what season it is. It doesn't even matter if you travel, right? Lisa Peltier came to visit me in Canada here, and she was in her hotel room cooking macro-based eating. And I actually, this is our joke, I messaged her because we were planning something and I said, do you want me to grab something from the grocery store for you? And then she texts back her coach and says, as long as it's macro clean. So I was like, yes, I taught her well. That was so good. But yeah, like, you could be traveling to other countries and you still understand how to combine your protein, carbs, and fat together. And if you understand like nutritionally what you need, like vitamin wise, and like having more whole foods and colorful spectrum of the vegetables and different things like that, understand supplements, like what are needed vitamins, like I spoke about last time about thyroid hormones, but there's things like your vitamin D's and your vitamin B's that you need. So if you actually learn these things about proper macronutrients and proper micronutrients, right? Macronutrients are protein, carbs, and fat. Micronutrients are vitamin, minerals, and maybe water, but vitamins and minerals. So if you learn your nutrition well, then it doesn't matter where you go, what season it is, what things are around you, you know how to eat. And that is the greatest empowerment for your health, is understanding nutrition so that your weight doesn't fluctuate up and down. You're not suddenly like 10 pounds heavier. I have some clients who, sometimes they go off track a little bit and then they go off a week or two without like don't think about what they're eating, and they gain 5 to 10 pounds coming back and they go, I had no idea. This is like the impact of not caring about my food. And I said, it's a good lesson to learn, isn't it? A good lesson to learn. If you don't care about your nutrition, it's just like this. You will gain 5 to 10 to 15 pounds without you knowing it. But when you are proactive in your nutrition, it makes a world of difference. And then your weight will stay consistent. And then without all the fluctuations, guess what? Your hormones are happier, menopause symptoms are not as intense, your body's skin is not stretching up and down, just having this consistency, your mood is better, consistency in food, right? So so that's my take on it, Sherry. I hope I understood your question properly. So for those of you who are watching, if you're like, I need to learn macros, and this is going to be really important for me, I want you to put macros below, because macros is maybe not the first step in your fitness journey. Probably inflammation is your first step, but macros should be a part of your fitness journey eventually if you want to have really precise dialing of your body and physique, right? So yes, I see Sherry says reacting to environment. Got it. Add to fridge notes or belly. Sure. I like your sense of humor. Lisa says, yes, and I enjoy the selections you brought me from the grocery store. I hope so, Lisa. I'm your coach. I mean, this is just a joke, but I bought Lisa like totally junk and I'm her coach. That would be like crazy, right? No, I bought her macro clean stuff. Jennifer, my mind is so much clearer eating macro friendly. Yeah. And Jennifer's comment here is when you actually eat clean, you take away brain fog. I know Lynn, one of my clients, always struggled with brain fog. And when she finally addressed inflammation and eating clean, her brain fog cleared up a lot, right? So yeah, I see lots of people putting macros. Portia, Monica, Tammy, Martha, Carolyn, all want to learn about macros. So we will reach out to you. Hi, Diana. Diana's in the muscle accelerator. She's the one doing push-ups with me. Everyone give her hands up. She was amazing. Amazing too, because she never could used to do push-ups from her toes. So she is amazing and looks amazing. Awesome. So let me just look at time here. Okay. So really, that's the main things I really wanted to answer. There were some specific questions, again, from my 21-day anti-inflammation ladies. Some of them are kind of specific, so I feel like those you should ask in the private group. I'm just trying to look through here. Oh, there was a question earlier. Let me see. There was a question earlier that I said I will get back to. Let me just see where that is. Do you remember, Oshoni? Oh, Valerie says, I have been told to eat breakfast before working out in the mornings. I find, oh yeah, you wrote that here. Yes, yes. I think Oshone just put it. I find I feel better at not eating before, but after. Am I doing this wrong to lose weight? Okay. So this question is about, should I eat breakfast in the morning? Okay. So there's a lot of like different thoughts and opinions on it. I honestly think that it's not like super black and white, okay? I think there is different reasons why people say different things. What I say is that I think that your body needs to know it's not like starving in the morning, and you should give it some sort of kickstart. Now, if you have trouble eating like a massive breakfast, I don't think you have to eat a massive breakfast, but I think you should put something in your body to help kickstart the signals, to help kickstart your system, and give it kind of like something to work on, even if it's something small. And then you can eat a bigger something later on, right? So it doesn't mean like you have to like eat this massive thing when you can't take it. Should people fast in the morning? Now, there's a lot of talks around this. Like, I guess my take on it is like, it's not necessarily that it's always bad. And I know that for sure in competition, there is something that people do in the fasted morning as they're trying to drop and reduce fat at extreme amounts. However, I would say like, if you're somebody whose signals in your body is already not that good, like, and unfortunately, people in menopause, as I described above, there's so much happening in your body. So you're kind of playing with signals in your body that you don't really want to. You know, one of the things, you know, the signaling in your body is there's likely higher inflammation in your body. There's likely higher cortisol being pumped through your system as you age. So the thing is, you have to ask yourself, if you are not feeding it food and like not eating for many hours, what type of signal are you sending your body? What type of training are you trying to train your body to? And so I think that for a lot of people kind of in that menopausal area, or they already have a lot of weight to lose, or they have big bellies, I feel like that's really not the smart move to go about it, because your systems and your signaling is faulty already. So you're kind of adding to potentially a faulty signaling to your system because you're not giving it what it needs. And if you don't give it what it needs, then, you know, it's going to raise the cortisol. It's going to potentially, if you go work out, it's not going to really help you as much with having the energy to work out and all of that, right? But, you know, if you know, see, this is why it's not black and white. If your signals in your body are not that faulty, like you actually are really, really strong signals in your body that are healthy, you could potentially do a fasted morning or some fasted morning things, and it could potentially produce some good results. So I'm going to go back to this, like, I think it's situational and I think it depends on your body. But if you are menopausal and you have poor system signals, like you have inflammation in your system, which majority of women in menopause are struggling with inflammation, I would just say that's not the best approach. Is why I'm not a huge fan of intermittent fasting, although intermittent fasting's kind of approach and the science behind it does show cellular regeneration. So is there room for things like that? There is, but I think you have to fix signals first. So if whoever is listening, whether you're on here or on YouTube, it's like, that's why there's so much debate on these kinds of philosophies. And I'm not totally against them. I'm just always asking you to consider the situation your body is in. And if you are in the right situation to do intermittent fasting, or you are in the right situation to skip breakfast, then maybe it will work for you. But for most women that I coach, it isn't the best approach, because most women I deal with have a lot of inflammation, have bellies, have weight they need to lose, and are in menopause. And because of those factors, and because of my knowledge of this age range of women, I just coach a little bit differently. But your son who's 23 years old, or your daughter who's 30 years old, who's doing intermittent fasting or some other thing and is having phenomenal results and looks amazing, you're probably like, but they look amazing. I'm like, yeah, because their situation is different. So always remember context. Context is key, right? So just remember this. Sorry, I'm probably missing a lot of comments here. Hands up. Yeah, you're saying about the, I think this one is about, yeah, I don't know what I was talking about there. And then I see macro from Missy. And then Debbie says, can someone eat breakfast before workout? Oh yeah, you guys were just reminding me the question. And you're welcome, Valerie. And Portia says, I've done intermittent fasting for years, and now I'm training myself to eat breakfast at least an hour or two upon waking, but it's hard to eat something because coffee always fills me up. Yeah, and Portia, I just would be I like again, contextually, a little bit of coffee can increase your system's metabolic rate, which is great. Too much coffee or caffeine can spike your cortisol faster than you want. So you want to always consider some of the factors involved, depending on, Portia, do you struggle with a belly? It comes back to context again. If you struggle with belly, if you struggle with high inflammation, just got to ask yourself, like, would that be good? Would that not be good? Again, like that's why sometimes with clients, I have to talk to you personally. It depends on your context, right? Jennifer, I used to intermittent fast before Clarice. Now I feel so much better eating soon after I get up. Yes. And Jennifer is developing some serious muscle. She flexes her arms, and she gets so many comments on her biceps at the gym. Hi, Trina. Thanks for popping in. Awesome. So we're close to wrapping up. Is there any other questions on here that anybody has? I'll wait for a couple of you guys to put it in. I know that the 21-day anti-inflammation ladies, there were some specific ones, but I just feel like those would be better answered in the private group. So is there any other questions that you guys have that you're wondering about? Claire says, I've loved the information you gave me, Clarice, about needing something to burn while working out. If it's early, just have my macro balanced breakfast at least an hour before working out. That's worked great for me. If working out early, my body isn't ready for a full meal. Yes, Claire. Yeah, exactly. And so like, yeah, just giving yourself something that your body can go off of. Just like, think of like it, giving it like the right signal to go, okay, I'm ready to boost my metabolism. Think about this. Okay. If you don't have food in your system, it's like log on a fire, right? So if you wake up, your body tunes down your metabolism during sleep because it's trying to repair, right? Your muscle grows a lot in your sleep. So it tunes down your metabolism. So when you wake up, your metabolism isn't in full drive yet. And it needs to start to churn over the day to increase the metabolism. So if you don't give it the log, like the food on the fire, then it's kind of burning substandard initially. And so you're not getting the full burn, you're not getting the full fire in your system all at once. And yeah, so that's just kind of my philosophy on that. So yes, any other questions? Yes, no, maybe so. All right. So I don't think anybody else have any other questions. And the ones, like I said, if you have inflammation questions that are in my 21-day anti-inflammation system group, you can post the questions in there and I can answer it. And so hopefully this added value to all of you, especially the parts about menopause, about experiencing pain. Those are all something that's really important for you guys to keep in mind. And I love for all of you to put below what you learned from today's live, or like just like if you like Q&A. I know last time I asked this, but I know some of you really like Q&A, and would you like to see another Q&A? Put it below, or drop a comment below to let me know if you enjoy these Q&As, or if you have future questions you want me to answer, you can put it below. So put one thing that you learned from this live below. Okay, awesome. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for sticking with me and sending you all lots of love. And I will see you guys next week.